So, hello everybody. I hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing. It is a scorching day here on this lovely planet. I'm out here roasting my nuts. Well, not roasting my nuts. I prefer them actually in a nice, peanut sauce, stir fried, put over your rice. Have you ever just had peanuts, add them to your stew, and you get nice little firm bean-like peanuts? No? Yeah, for some reason, we here in the US really like our nuts roasted, even though they're not nuts. And of course, as you already know, we're talking about peanuts. I'm out here, roasting and harvesting a bed of peanuts. Obviously, can you see them? And there's a bucket with some peanuts in it. I think peanuts are really underrated for whatever reason. People only really know peanuts as things in a jar that are roasted or things in a shell that are roasted. But they're so versatile. You especially when you grow your own, you can harvest them fresh. And people may know boiled peanuts, but you don't have to boil them or roast them. You stir fry them up real quick, or actually fry them in oil, put them on your rice, add them to soups and stews, and they hold together really nicely for different textures and, some nut flavor, peanut flavor. But there's so much you can do with them. Just use your imagination. But people don't. They're limited to a few boiled peanuts you may find somewhere on the side of the road or a gas station, or basically roasted peanuts, and it's a shame. And you gotta change that. Grow your own peanuts, guys. Really, really delicious. Super easy crop. I don't think people know how easy peanuts are to grow. They don't need very rich soil. Heck, you can grow them in bags, grow bags, super easy. Grow them in tubs, super easy. Anything, In fact, you don't want your soil too rich. They do very well with poor soil. They can be extremely productive. I am digging them out of this bed right here. And the only issue I'm facing is I let them go a little too long. So instead of them still being well attached to the vine, I'm digging them up and they're staying in the soil. Ideally, you would harvest your peanuts before the plants start dying back and they're still well attached. And you just pull up a hole. Gosh, they can be so productive. Really awesome plants. Super crop. Definitely a survival crop. Everybody's into storing things and everything. Peanuts store so well. You store them in the shell, they will last a year or more. Just make sure you don't have any bugs on them. Stick them in the freezer in the shell, or deshell them, put them in the freezer, and they will last forever, Or you can dry them just like any other legume, bean, and store them in mason jars. Super easy. And then just use them when you want them. And there are different kinds. This is a Virginia type peanut. I don't remember what variety is, but you get some big old peanuts there. These guys are really good. I like to, of course, like I said, stick them in soups and stews when I'm doing it, especially we're getting late in the year, middle of August here. The cooler months aren't far away, and just, making some good hearty meals. Just throw some peanuts in. Really good. And like I said, very underrated crop here in the U.S. I'm talking about for home growing. Everybody eats peanut butter on their jelly sandwich. But for a homestead or a gardener, grower to grow their own peanuts, they're very overlooked. Which is a shame, because I do have some peanut farming blood in my family. And I can tell you, these guys can be dirty. And I don't mean, because they grow on the ground. I'm talking about with the pesticides and herbicides and just where they grow them. Peanuts can be a really, really, commercial peanuts I'm talking about, can be a really dirty crop. Really contaminated with God knows what. And all the more reason to grow your own peanuts. Hell, even if you wanted to go to the store, and buy some fresh peanuts and plant them. Do it. Or, it's pretty easy, I'm pretty sure, to find peanut seed, or at least used to be. I don't know exactly. I haven't bought peanut seed in a while. So I'm pretty sure there's peanut seed out there still. But super easy crop. Interplant them with things. Stick them under your bananas, under your, your stone fruit, whatever fruit trees you have. Stick them everywhere. If you've got a little empty spot, dig a little hole, stick a few peanuts in. It's that easy. They don't need really any care. They do prefer to be a bit on the drier side. Peanuts, the only issue you really have with them is when they're ripening. If you have a wet spell, then they can sprout, which is horrible. But my peanuts, I normally am not harvesting peanuts this time of year because I normally am not growing peanuts this time of year. But because we are actually in a fairly dry spell, I actually this is my third harvest of peanuts this year. I normally plant them as early as possible and harvest most of my peanut crop around May. Sometime, right when our rainy season's starting up really well. Or I plant them really late around September, start them in September. And that way their vegetative growth is going on. I'm talking about Florida here, when it's our wettest time of year, which is generally June, July, going into September. And then drying off October, November-ish, and that would be when I harvest them. But I took a risk this year because we are pretty dry, and of course it paid off. These guys got stuck in the ground and zero care from me. As you can see in the pile here, it's nothing but peanuts and weeds. The weeds really took over, but that's because like I said, zero care from me. I did not water them. I did not weed them. I just left them to their devices, and I will get a pretty good haul. There was actually only, I think, 3 rows of peanuts done right here. I got the sun behind me, so I can't see my screen. And it's only like 20 feet long. But I will easily fill this 2 5-gallon buckets. A lot of them are left in the ground. I'll go sift through the sand. And I have not cleaned this pile, and I still have quite a bit more to go. There's a few piles of peanuts there that I have to go harvest all of them off. But I should probably have about 2 5-gallon buckets full. Not a bad haul at all for zero care. And then I will probably rinse these off really well, make sure there's nothing on them, and then let them dry and store them until I'm ready to either replant, which I think I'm going to replant some, or shell them and use them however I want, or leave them in the shell and boil them. Boiled peanuts are good, leave in the shell boiled, peanuts. I love peanuts. But definitely, guys, you got to grow some peanuts. Don't overlook them. Utilize them like everything else, especially because they are so carefree and they can be so productive. One peanut will easily fetch you 200 peanuts. It's about right, I'd say. One peanut will become about 200 peanuts. That's not bad at all. That's a fairly good harvest. And you just stick them pretty close together. Voila. Super easy crop, guys. They are nutritious. They are delicious. They're something everybody knows, but not a lot of people grows. I shouldn't try and rhyme. Horrible at it. Horrible. I'll just stick to growing peanuts and stick them in my mouth. All right, guys. So see you later. Check out some peanuts. It's getting towards the time of year where if you're in the south, you can probably get a second crop in. Or if you're up north, you're too late. But do it next year. Or stick them in pots. Super easy. Grow them in pots, grow them in bags, grow them in tubs. Grow food, guys. Grow super easy, productive, nutritious things. And peanuts fit that perfectly. You can even make your own peanut butter. They have special kinds for it, but you don't need a special kind. Roast them and grind them up and frickin' eat it, because I like peanut butter. Love you guys. Check out below. See you later.